Are we running? Yes. Mic check 1, mic check 2. If you guys are watching this live stream back on the replay, take advantage of the chapters and skip ahead to the start of the show. I'm still setting up and giving people time to tune in. Oh yeah, it feels so much better being on time and being prepared and ready to go. I had weekly recap live this weekend, had me get my life together, okay? So I've been getting my research done and getting the format done and laid down and everything. I got an excellent show for you guys tonight. So we are going to start on time. My glasses are clean. My lips ain't dry. I did everything I needed to do, so I didn't have to make y'all sit through that. So we're going to start at 11. We got like 3 minutes. I got everything set up and ready to go. So I don't want to start too early because people used to me starting just a little bit late. So that's how we doing this. But I hope you guys had an awesome day in the market today. For me, it started off fantastic. And then whoop, a lot of it went right back. Still finished green on the day in the portfolio though, but took a lot of it back. So I did some research over the weekend. Well, it was late after we got done with the weekly recap live. And I did some research on the fear and greed index. I did some research on the VIX. So I have a much better understanding about it. And now we can work that in to how we're incorporating what we do on the weekly recap live. We won't be looking at it that much during the week, but we definitely going to be using those tools on the weekend on the weekly recap live. So make sure you tuning in for that. Where we at? We got about 2 minutes. Yeah, usually I'm sitting here cleaning my glasses and all that other stuff. So let me put this on the screen. So if you guys are tuning in, you can tell me where you're tuning in from. Tell me what stocks you looking at, how your day went, what up, something. What up, though, or however you want to go about it. I'm here. We're going to be starting in a couple of minutes. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Oh, I need to launch the social stream ninja. I forgot to do that. Start running my mouth soon as I got the live stream going. Here we go. Let's launch this and make sure I can hear it. So we go to trigger. Okay. Awesome. I can hear it. So let's delete this. Delete message. Ooh, and I'm telling you that SpaceX tearing people up, ain't it? I'm happened to peek at it not too long ago. It was after the market closed. PCX. Oh, tough. 139. It closed at 139.14, but they had a low of 136.78, and they're trading right now around 137.65. It's got a little spread in there after hours, but that's that. So yeah, I've been sharing that video with you guys. The link to that video is in the description if you want to check it out, because there's a lot of information in there about how IPOs works. How IPOs work is not just about SpaceX, but I'm featuring SpaceX to explain how IPOs work. It's a really good video. You should check it out if you haven't seen it. All right, it's 11, so let's go ahead and get the show going. Let me get this where it need to be. Take that off, do that. All right, guys, I think we're ready to go. Welcome to Market Recap Live. I'm your host, Joseph Martin, and thank God. Oh, thank God. It is Monday. It is Monday. And tonight we are taking a look at ticker UAL. You might know them better as United Airlines. United Airlines Holdings Incorporated was founded in 1926 by Walter Varney, with the first office opening in Boise, Idaho. I was about to say Idaho. That's not a place. But the first office opening in Boise, Idaho. Now they're publicly traded on the NASDAQ and have a market value over $40 billion. billion. Yes, that's B, billion dollars. United Airlines is in the airlines industry in the industrials sector, and they are listed in the S&P 500 index. Some of United Airlines' competitors are Delta Airlines Incorporated, ticker DAL, American Airlines Group Incorporated, ticker AAL, and Southwest Airlines Company, ticker LUV. We're going to review United Airlines earnings, their website, and pull up the charts to perform a quick technical analysis. But before we do that, let's do our roll call. Let's do our roll call and check our stream poll. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, FB for Facebook, and an X for X. While you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here's the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. Okay, let's get to it. Let's get to these earnings highlights. Earnings highlights. Here we go. Take that off. Go here. Earnings. Bam. Then take this down. Bam. Hey, we own it. All right. United Airlines, ticker symbol UAL, the $40.9 billion company, is reporting its second quarter earnings on Wednesday, July 15th. They have a 52-week high of $138.77, which took place on June 30th, and a 52-week low of $82.42 that occurred on August 1st, which is a trading range $56.35. And they closed today at $121.16. United Airlines is expected to report $17.6 billion in revenue on the top line, with an expected adjusted EPS of $1.84, which would be 54.6% higher than the $1.19 they reported in the previous quarter. The earnings will be released after the market close, and the conference call will be held the following morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. That 52-week low compared to today's closing of $121.16 represents an increase of 47.01% in just under a year. So if someone invested $1,000 in June at that 52-week low of $82.42, they will be seeing a gain of $470.10. Woo, we did that. All right, now let's move on, guys. Let's move on. There we go. All right. Researching a company. Let's talk about why we visit these company websites. We're looking at the visuals and text to find answers to these key questions. What goods and or services does the company sell? How important are those goods and services to their customers? What makes this company stand out from the competition? And how well do they take care of their employees? Where we look. We look for those answers in four main areas: the homepage for the goods and or services, about us for purpose, vision, values, and mission statements, careers for employee benefits and opportunities, and investor relations for stock quotes, charts, and financial reports. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's live stream are down in the description. All right, now let's go visit United Airlines website. Bam, bam, bam. And we own it tonight. We own it tonight. All right. So let me position this so we can see and get over here, get over here. All right. So I'm looking at the top. We're looking for about us, careers, and investors. Listen, I think it's all going to be at the bottom. So let's just scroll and see what they got going on. Right off the back, they're trying to get you to use some credit or tell you about some flyer miles and miles and miles. Explore destinations. Okay, we got that going on. Find travel inspiration. Explore San Francisco on a budget. This looks like different places that they're highlighting. Yep, absolutely. Useful links for you. 100 years of United. Okay, we already at the bottom. Let me take me off the screen. So we have About United right here. We have careers right here. And now I'm looking for investor relations. Don't see it, guys. It might be under About United, because I've seen that happen before. So let's go ahead and start going to these links. Let's go to About United. And there it is, investor relations. So we want to learn about the company. So what link can take us to that? Good leads on the way. That's corporate information. United for Business, advertise with us, branding, people impact, leadership team. Guys, let's just go to leads the way. Good leads the way. So they used the slogan instead of just saying about us. They used the slogan. Good leads the way. What is this? I'm trying to figure this out. Get your head in the clouds. All right, let's just read with it. Okay, we built the world's biggest airline around you. All right. When United built the world's biggest airline, we built it around, well, you. What does that mean? Flight times that work around your schedule, destinations near and far and everywhere in between, and no fees to change your flight. So where should we go together next? To About Us, where we can learn about your purpose, vision, and mission statements. That's where we need to go. Oh, and they don't have it. Not easy to find. If they do have it, I'll tell you that. So let's go back down here. Let's go to leadership team. And they might have that information under careers. So if you've been following the live streams, you know that sometimes they put this in different locations depending on the website, depending on who we are looking at. So here we go. Who we are. They have this under newsroom. United is the largest airline in the world. Our 100,000 plus employees help 175 million customers get to more than 380 destinations across 6 continents each year. Okay. I'm looking for vision, mission. I don't see none of it. Okay, so here are some leadership people. These are the high ups. Okay, we got that. Let's go look for something else. Take me off the screen so you can see it. Leadership team, airlines, ventures. I'm about done trying to find that. So let's go to careers. Let's go to careers. And that takes us to a whole nother website. So let's get this positioned and ready. Look at this stuff popping up. Get off my screen. All right, put me back on the screen. Zoom in. All right. Close this out. We're on the careers page. So careers, home, events, working at United. We should already be on careers, home. Close this out. All right, let's scroll and see what we can find. We might find stuff about the company on here as well. Get tailored job recommendations based on your interests. Be the first to apply. So these are different positions that they have available, feature job opportunities. So corporate operations, India Knowledge Center. Join our talent community, explore your future. So these are the different departments. Now I know when I'm mousing over it, it's hard to see, but corporate, digital technology, aircraft maintenance and support, at the airport, customer solutions, and flight attendant. And then they have a map showing the different positions they have available all over the globe. So here's people and culture, and here are the benefits. So at least that wasn't hard to find. So let's read our people impact. So this talks about something with the company. Maybe they'll have the other stuff on here like values and things like that. So people impact. We are committed to excellence, meeting high standards and fostering a culture that creates pride for our people, customers, commercial partners, and communities, and are always looking to build upon our impactful work, our commitment and action. So aviate, innovate, recruiting and hiring. So they talk about that process, it looks like. Business resource groups. Okay, accessibility. And we are at the bottom. So let's go back to the top. And I want to go back to where the benefits popped up. So let's see if we can go back. It's not doing it. Close that out. Here we go. Benefits. So explore benefits. I don't know if you can see it right there. So we're going to go there. Benefits at United. We know our airline is only as good as the team behind it. We offer a competitive benefits package that will keep you happy, healthy, and well-traveled. Got it. So these are testimonials, and here are the breakdowns. So financial, health, social, professional. And remember, there are links down in the description if you want to browse through this website on your own, of course. So we went through that. Now we need to locate where they have the investor relations hidden because we were digging for it before. There we go. Take me off the screen. I know where it is right here. About United. And it's right here. Investor relations. Okay, cool. So let's blow this up. I think we already blew it. We zoomed in and stuff. We're good. Okay. So here's the stock information, at least on this home page. Yeah, they got, okay, here goes some stats. And after we finish browsing over this company profile, would you look at there? Company profile, United Airlines, trade on the NASDAQ, that's their ticker, is the largest airline in the world with more than 100,000 employees, helping 175 million. I remember reading that part. I'm thinking it was going to give us something more. As the leading carrier across the Atlantic and Pacific, United connects travelers to international cities throughout Asia, Australia, Europe, Latin America, the Middle East, and Africa, serving as the flag carrier of the United States. Okay. So this is United Airlines CEO. United Next is the right strategy. It's been well executed by our people, and it's producing strong, resilient results in good times and even more impressively in tough times. Events and presentations, good leads the way. Latest news. All right, we're down at the bottom. Now, let's find this stock stuff. So we got it at the top right here, stock. So stock quote and chart and other investment tools. So let's get to the stock quote and chart. Here we are. This is what they have available. The chart has not loaded yet. So if this isn't your first time watching the live stream, then you already know that this data seems to be outsourced, and it takes a while with certain websites that we visit for it to come through and pop up. So I chat to you guys and try to keep you from being bored out of your mind while we waiting on this to pop up. I'm going to give it a few more seconds and then we're going to move on. But I don't think anything's wrong with the there you go. I don't think anything's wrong with the website. It's just sometimes those charts are delayed. All right, we can move on because I don't like the fact we couldn't find the vision, purpose, mission, all that that bothered me. But anyway, let's move on. So let's go here. We leave that up. Yeah, absolutely. So let's go here. So let's talk about their clients and partners. United Airlines does have customers and partners that are listed in the S&P 500 index. Some notable names include JP Morgan Chase and Company, ticker JPM, Visa Incorporated, ticker V, and the Boeing Company, ticker BA. Now, let's talk about mobile limitations, all right? Because a lot of people like just trading from their phone. Before we look at the charts, remember, professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited and don't have all the features that are available on full trading platforms. Now, let's look at United Airlines on the charts. Here we go. Now, before you say something, I know this is not United Airlines because I had pulled up SpaceX while we was over there talking. So all we got to do is put it in here. Let's put it in the symbol box. UAL, and then we put their ticker on the screen. There we go. So we ready. We good. All right. Now let's clear some of this up. I believe we have covered United Airlines before, but let's keep it simple and get it going. So we are looking at a 1-year daily chart. That's where we are right now. Here's their 52-week low of $82.42. Here's their 52-week high of $138.77. Now, before we start doing technical analysis on this time frame, let's back out and look at the 10-year weekly chart. Okay, and we do have 10 years here because we see 2016 right here. So this is one of the first things I check, because it doesn't matter that we have this set to a 10-year weekly. If the data isn't available, it's not going to go back 10 years. So that's the first thing we need to check out. Okay, so now they have a 10-year low of $17.80. Give me a second. This is acting up. $17.80. And they have a 10-year high of $138.77, which is also the 52-week high. Okay. Now, with the price action being up here in this area, I guess the only thing we need to do notable with the 10, because it's so high, I don't like doing a whole, we don't need to put levels for all of this. We just need to put it where the price action is likely to go first. Okay, so let's focus on that. Let's get this other mouse. Let's zoom in to this price level. So this is where we need to focus for right now, because this is where the price action is. It would have to go through a few things before we worry about anything else. All right. And what is jumping out at me immediately is that we have a price level here of support at $119.21. And that's also where the 9-week simple moving average is hovering at. So we need to figure out what that actual level of that simple moving average is. So it's $118.99. So it's not that far off from this support level that we have. So I look at that as potential support. And then we have this zone down here. Now what's missing from this zone, the support zone, we can't see the top of that price range. So let's fix that now. So if we go to edit properties, I already see what candle we use. We use the low of this green candle right here. And you can't see, can you see? Yeah, you can see it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open up my price level tool and I'm just gonna snap it to the low of that candle, and then I'll open up properties and check it. So the actual price range for that zone says 84.64. So we just need to change this price level. Edit properties, 84.64. Now it's highlighting. We know exactly what the top of that range is and the bottom of that range. So that's my support zone on the weekly chart, which is we're gonna actually see on the daily chart as well. Okay, and the 200-week simple moving average is right there where you see the $68.86. That's not what I wanted. $68.86. Let's do this again. Oh boy, these buttons. Here we go. All right, so we go here, use this to delete that, and get my little box. Undo, undo. Here we go. That is the 200-week simple moving average. So we know where those are. So we have enough support levels there. We got the 9-week simple moving average, the 200-week simple moving average, the top and bottom of this support zone, 109.11 cents and 119.21 cents. So those are the technicals that I have on the 10-year weekly chart. Now we can go focus on the 1-year daily chart. I paused because I was working on getting this. So let's take care of this because I see this now too. We can take care of this right now. So you see how you have the 10-year high or the 52-week high. I want to put a price level here that touches all three of those wicks. So this is the lowest one of those highs out of those 3 weekly candles. So I'm gonna put that here. That's going to be the part of that's going to be my resistance. I'm not going to use the actual 52-week high. I'm going to use that when it connects to 3 weeks. So $138.10. Now let's go to the 1-year daily chart. Okay, so we already have that part done. Now let's zoom in. So here's today's candle right here. And now because we're on a lower time frame and we're looking at days instead of weeks now, we have different SMAs. They're still set to 9, but now this is a 9-day simple moving average. So on this chart, it's at $129.74. And then we have a 200-day simple moving average, which is at $104.03. That's what we have there. And now we can get a clearer idea of what's going on with these daily candles. And let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. And then we have 2 trading days to earnings as well. Man, it's coming down before earnings. That's crazy. That's crazy. And you know what it could be? It could be that people are concerned because of the conflict around oil, because that's a huge expense, or that's one of the expenses. I don't know how big or small it is, but that's one of the expenses for airlines, which is fuel costs. So if there's a rise or a spike in fuel costs, then it's concerns that it's going to hurt the profit margins of those companies. And then they have earnings coming in a couple of days. So people could be worried about that. So here's a couple of things that's standing out to me that I'm seeing. Let me space this out and blow this up really well so we can see it. Make this easy to see. I'm seeing two gaps on the way up before it went up here. So boom, boom. I'm just putting them here so we can see it. I'm not going to do the extra work of extending them over because I can eyeball it and see that it has been filled at those price levels. This wick filled that gap. This gap was filled by this candle. But I'm just noticing that that was gaps there. So we can remove those. Just want to highlight them so you can see them. And then we have another gap here. So this gap was filled with this price action. Okay, so we don't have any gaps that we need to fill because they've already been filled. But that was what I was seeing. I was seeing that this price action came back down and filled those gaps because it has skipped those two places during regular trading hours as far as like trading action, price action. Now, here's the other thing. Once it found that resistance up here at that $138.10, guys, once it closed, and I don't even know if that's actually, we can find out for sure. What I meant, I didn't know at the moment. So let me mouse over this and I can tell where that actual simple moving average is and then where it actually closed on that day. So I'm gonna cut on my floating data boxes just to make it a lot easier. We can see the simple moving average price there. So is that it was $132.77. And I want to see if the close was lower than that. Yeah, the close was $132.50. So that day it did close below the 9-day simple moving average. Ever since that day, which was July 6th, every day has been trading under the 9-day simple moving average. So that's how we can do that if we want to find that out, because that looked close to me. I couldn't tell if it was an actual close, but I could have looked at the wick. If we look real close at the wick, we can see that the middle part is below the simple moving average. But yeah, it hasn't been able to get back above it. And it's been trading below it ever since it closed below it. I'm not going to count that day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once the close happened, you got 5 trading days below the 9-day simple moving average. And none of them even been able to touch or cross that line during the trading session since it started happening. And then we're approaching earnings. So it might find support here at the 119.21. It might test that before earnings. It might. So let's zoom out and look for some price levels. This is what I wanted to show you guys too when I looked at this. Remember how we were talking about the gaps? This gap right here, I'm gonna extend this over so you can see something. It looks like that wick came down like right to the bottom of that gap when that gap was still there. So I'm gonna put it there so you can see what I'm saying. Make it yellow, extend it over. It don't need to go too far. We can, what day was that? That's July 8th. So we'll just go to July 8th. So it'll stop right there. There you go. You see how the wick peaked right out at the bottom? So it's like that wick perfectly came down, just filled that gap and then recovered. And then the following day when it recovered, it actually gapped up again. It's a small gap between these two daily candles, but it failed to reach the 9-day simple moving average. The next day it opened lower than the previous close, and it wasn't able to get up to the 9-day simple moving average or make a higher high than the previous day. And then it closed off and wiped that whole trading session out. Then it opened below the body of the that just looked real bearish on the way down. It does. And now it's closed below the gap after it had filled it and kind of pulled back and closed below that area of support, because that would have been a support level, which was the bottom of the gap. So now it's in this range right now until it either uses this as support or falls below this. It's between this range right now until further notice, until it breaks out or breaks down. So that's what I'm seeing. Now, where's the 200-day simple moving average at? So it's down here at 104.03. So if it gets through that, I'm going to say you got support right there. So let me put that there right now. Right here. And we can do that as a support zone. So let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in and do this right and then move on. So we spend a lot of time on United Airlines. So if I can leave that line there and just show you what I'm looking at. Connect the bottom of this candle and then go over here to the high of this candle. And then we extend this over to December 1st. I'm going to make this a support zone, because if I make it a zone, it'll touch more candles, and you'll see what I mean once we finish laying it out. So we're in July, so we'll take it back out that far. Bam. And now we do a support line, price level, and put it there. Expand that out, pull this down, and then bring this over. All right. So now you can see, take me off the screen. Over here, we have price action over here that's responding to that zone. That's why I used it. And then you have these wicks here as well. So it responds to that level around 116 and 115. I'll just box both of them. That's what I was seeing. So that's where I would look for support if it gets through 119.21. And that's why. I didn't use the wicks at the top. I use more of the bodies, the opens and closes, along with the wicks, not in here. Okay. All right. Now let's zoom out and then zoom back in, put me back on the screen and focus on this area right here. And we're going to do this stock quote, and then we can talk about the volume, because I'm interested in knowing if the volume was increasing as the stock was coming down. All right. So let's go to setting, cut on my floating data box, and let's get it. So here we go. United Airlines opened today at $124.76. They had a high of $125.24. They had a low of $120.62, and they closed today at $121.16, which is a trading range of $4.62. Now, when we look at the trading volume, guys, they traded 4.3 million shares of this stock today. Is that a big deal? We about to check right now. So let's do this. Cut off the floating data box, and then we're going to take me off the screen, and we do not need this here anymore. So let's remove that, because we were just using that as an example. And let's go over here and look at the volume labels. So the average trading volume, guys, is 6.2 million shares in a daily trading session. And today it traded below that. So it came in with below average volume, coming in at 4.3 million shares in today's trading session. Now, this candle right here had even lower volume. So we have that previous candle's volume right here coming in at 3.9. Okay. So we do see an increase in volume as it's been coming down, but it's still trading below average. Okay. And it's still below the 9-day simple moving average. So it's not a lot of volume actually following this move on the way down. So it might be able to find some support when normal volume comes in. When the volume pick up, it might be able to find support at one of these levels if the volume can kick in. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the volume rank percentile to see how low this is compared to the other most recent 252 days volume. So out of the most recent 252 days, today's volume is only higher than 23.4% of those trading days. To be exact, 59 of those days had lower volume than today. So DB days below, DA days above. So bam, we got it. So we did our UAL. Let's go ahead and move on from United Airlines. Let's move on. So let's go here, 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 and here. All right. We got that done. Community support. Back to the community, I would appreciate it very much if you guys share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, Cash App and PayPal links are down in the description as well as on the ticker on the screen. All right, S&P 500 index. Okay, let's look at what the S&P 500 index did today by using the SPY ETF. This ETF gives investors an opportunity to participate in the broader U.S. market by allowing them to own a percentage of each company in the S&P 500 index. Let's go back to the charts. Bam. All right, and then S&P 500 index, there we go, and take that down. Hey, all right, so we go up here to the symbol box. Let's put in SPY, SPY, bam. And I know, look at all those levels, guys. We look at it every day. So you're going to have a lot of levels, but we going to get through it. So let's go over here. The SPY has a 52-week low. We can take some of these arrows off. The SPY has a 52-week low of $118.05. They have a 52-week high of $760.40. And we can actually see it's trading right now around $747 right now in extended hours, about $2 below where it closed during the regular session. And let's go ahead and zoom in and focus on what we need to focus on. This price action right here. Okay. All right, this looking good. Okay, so let's put me back on the screen and let's talk about it. What I like about the fact that we look at this so often, we're really just seeing how it's responding to the levels that we already have on the charts, because it's responding to these levels. So it closed above where we had we were keeping an eye on $744.44. As it's been trading above that 9-day simple moving average, it's been holding, guys. Ever since it closed above it over here, it's been holding above that 9-day simple moving average. So that was June 29th. So it's been trading above that 9-day simple moving average. And this time I'm gonna do it a little different. We're gonna count the first close as one of those days. I know earlier I didn't do it. We gonna count that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For 10 days, it's been able to hold above that simple day moving average. But today, it closed below this area of support at $749.88. And we've been talking about this. That's also close to a psychological price level, which is a round number, $750. And there was some fear in the market today. So that's something new that we're going to start discussing, but I want to focus on that more on a weekly recap live. So I'll mention it, and there's a link down in the description for you to look at it. It's called the Fear and Greed Index. So when fear enters the market, it's not surprising that the index starts to pull back because people are fearful. When people are fearful, it tends to be more bearish sentiment in the market. When people are greedy, it's more bullish sentiment. So for it to be trending towards fear on that fear and greed index and having a pullback on the SPY, that's normal. Like, that's expected. Okay. But it did close below that support level. But it found support on the 9-day simple moving average. We can see that the wick came right below it, but it was able to close above that level. And the lows look like it's about the same. So Friday's low and today's low. So Friday's low was $748.10, and today's low was $748. So it came about 10 cents lower than Friday, but it wasn't able to close halfway into the body, or more than halfway in the body of Friday's candle. And it wasn't able to make a higher high than Friday as well. Now we need to focus on the volume. So how did the volume play into the technicals that we're seeing? Because right now it looked like it's back in this range right here between $744.44 and $749.88. And the psychological level round number of 750. Okay, so let's get the ETF quote for the SPY. So we go to the settings, Go to floating data box and let's get it. So the SPY opened today at $752.47. They had a high of $753.91. They had a low of $748, and they closed today at $749.17, which was a trading range of $5.91. Now, when we look at the volume, guys, the volume, they traded 44 million shares of this ETF today. Big deal, huh? We don't know. Let's look at what the average trading volume is for the SPY. And I need to share this with you as well. When we say average trading volume, you need to know what time frame I'm looking at. Some people look at the average volume time frame of 50 days. Some people use 100 days. I actually use 250 days. So my volume is averaging out 250 days worth of volume to find out where today's volume is standing against those other days. Okay, just to give you a baseline so you'll know what the numbers are or the metrics are behind my actual volume average. Okay, so when we come down here, the average trading volume in a daily trading session over the time frame I just shared with you is 72.8 million shares. So quickly we can see that there's 44 million shares that they traded today is below average. Now we do see an increase in volume because of Friday's volume. So Friday came in at 42.1 million shares traded on this green candle right here. Okay, so we see an increase in volume from Friday to Monday, but it's still below average. Now we need to figure out how below average is it. That's where the volume percentile comes in at. Okay, so now when we look at that, out of the most recent 252 trading days, today's volume was only higher than 9.5% of those days. To be exact, it's only higher than 24 of those days. So 24 of those days were below today's volume. So not only is it fear in the market or creeping into the market, that's the market sentiment, there's not a lot of trading activity on the SPY either. So that's what we seeing. That's what we got. And I want to show where the 200-day simple, we so far above it, like we don't even see it in the screen most of the time. But the 200-day simple moving average is trading at $694.91. It's right there for you. Bada boom, bada bing. Now we can move on. I think that's my favorite part of the show, guys. I think that's where we headed. So let's go, let's get it. Take that off. All right, so let's talk about it. Sector performance tracker, sector performance tracker. Time to follow the money. This is my favorite part. Let's look at each sector inside the S&P 500 index to see how they perform today. Now, let's look at it. Let's go. So let's go back to the charts. I got so excited. I was about to go to the next line. That ain't where we going. Let's go back here. Let's go there, go here, and then go there. Yes. S&P 500 sector performance. So this is where we're going to go, guys. We go right up here and we pull up sector performance. Bam. And I need to pull something else up. So let me go here, guys. Let me go here. I need to pull up my workbook, my Excel workbook, so we can start putting this data in for the week. Yeah, we need to put this data in. I got it. So I'm gonna pull it on the screen so you can see it. This is where I'm at. Not full screen mode, show tabs only. There we go. So we can see more of this down here at the bottom. Go over here. Bam. We don't have all the Friday. We're gonna have to scroll down or blow it up when we done. But we on Monday anyway. So this is where we are with filling this out. So let's go ahead and look at how the individual sectors performed inside the S&P 500 index today. So we can start seeing where this money flowing, guys. Where the money flowing, where the money going. First of all, we're looking at the wrong time frame. And let me show you what I did, because I made some changes to this tool. So the first thing I did was, like, I noticed how when I was telling you guys about like the volume average, the average trading volume, when I tell you that, you don't know what time frame I'm going back and looking to calculate the average. So that's why I'm starting to tell you, so you'll know what we actually looking at when it comes to numbers. So when I say we're looking at 6 months, right now it's set to 6 months. We're actually about to just look at the performance for today. So when we change that, you know that it's only one day. But when I say we're looking back over the past 6 months, you don't know where that starts and where that ends. You just know how long the time frame is. So now this little section right here where it says 126, that's telling you that it's looking from the most recent trading session that just finished. That counts as one of them. So 1, 2, 3, all the way back 126 bars or candles. That's going to be our 6 month window that we're looking at to determine the performance of whatever we're looking at right here on the sector performance tracker. So I wanted to explain that to you. So we already know we're on the wrong time frame. So we know we need to get to 1 day. So I'm gonna keep changing this until we get to 1 day. And it's not moving until we got here. There we go. So that's something I'm gonna have to fix. But anyway, we're there. So today, the SPX, so here we are, we need to fill this out. The SPX, S&P 500 index, was down, or is down for today, 0.8%. Energy is up 3%. Materials is down 0.6%. Industrials is down 0.9%. Consumer discretionary is down 1%. Consumer staples is down 0.6%. Healthcare is up 0.4%. Financials is up 0.7%. Information technology, guys, is down 2.4% just today. Communication services looks flat, but I'm gonna show you how we're gonna fix that in a second. Utilities is up 0.7%, and real estate is up 0.6%. So this is how we're going to break this down. Because we rounded it to 1 decimal point, sometimes we can't tell the accuracy of what's going on. Like right here, it got -0. There's no -0. It's either 0 or it's just 0. So we need to add an extra decimal point so we can see what that's actually telling us, okay? So here's how we do that. We go into right here, my studies, minimize this because this is on top of it. And then I go into settings and I added this right here where it says round set. We're going to change that to 2. Click OK and apply. And now we get the extra decimal point. So now you see when we get to communication services, it's down because it was down 0.04%. But when we rounded it, it just looked like a -0. So now we can be more accurate just by changing that one little thing. So I've been working, guys. Now we can pull this tool back on top and we can start filling in our data. So we know that the S&P 500 was actually down 0.79%. And now it's going to round it for us automatically in here. But we can always go and change that if we wanted to in the spreadsheet as well. But our main thing is just putting the data in. So now we need to see who the biggest gainer was. I believe it was energy, but let me browse over it again. Energy. Yeah, guys, energy was the biggest gainer. So we got to put that in. So that's XLE. And now we put in that change. So it was 3.01%. Bam. All right. Now, what was the second largest gainer for today? I believe it was financials. Wait a minute. Nope. It was utilities, guys. So that's going to be XLU. Utilities. And something is missing over here. Something is missing. Oh, I know what's missing. Let me see if, please let this work. Please let this work. Just drag this down. Now, when I drag this down, it's going to make all this gray. It's going to work, but it's going to make it all gray. So now I got to fix this. I didn't want all that to be gray. Oh, ribbon, home, and I want no fill. I'm not going to slow the show down. I at least took the gray out of those. So utilities was up 0.68%. So 0.68. There we go. Now, what was the third one? I believe it's financials. Let's double check. Financials, healthcare, and then you got real estate. So real estate was higher. Yeah, so financials. So financials is XLF. And now it's saying it so you can follow along. Now that was up 0.65%. Bam. Now see, if we had just rounded it to 1 decimal point, they would have looked like they were the same on the surface. Because now they're both saying 0.07, but we know that isn't true. So that's why we did that. Okay. And it's easier to read when I tell you 1 decimal point than trying to read 2 of them. All right. So now let's put in the information for the losers, the biggest losing sectors. So now when we look at it from the negative standpoint, you got consumer discretionary. Oh, information technology. I forgot about that one. Yep. So information technology is the biggest loser. So that's XLK. XLK, and they were down 2.42. There we go. So what's the next biggest loser? Information technology, consumer discretionary, I believe. Yep, consumer discretionary. That's that XLY. Let me see. XLY. Yes. Okay, XLY, and they were down 1.02%. All right, now what's the third biggest loser? Third biggest loser, I believe, is industrials. Yeah, guys, industrials. So we got XLI. Industrials is down 0.85%. Okay, now, what I like about this tool is that we're looking at the 3 sectors that are showing up as extremes. So as the week starts to play out, we'll end up seeing some of these show up again. Now, when they show up again, we want to see where they're showing up at. The reason why this tool is powerful is because we're going to get an earlier indication on when the money is moving instead of showing up later. Like when we look at the simple moving averages, it takes days or weeks for that moving average to actually give a confirmation signal. When we can actually break it down and look to see when the money started moving out. Like information technology losing 2.4% in a day is significant if it keeps doing it. Like energy grabbing 3% in a day is a big deal if it keeps doing it. Like you can constantly see it doing, so it's going to add up over time. But we're already knowing right now, hey, we need to keep an eye on energy. And let's put both here. We need to keep an eye on energy, and we need to keep an eye on information technology. Well, why? Because they were the biggest losing and gaining sectors on Monday. So you got that in your head. And then the next day come, we mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the biggest loser of them all? Like they losing again. That's the idea, okay? That's the idea. So we put the information in, we followed the money for today. We're good. We can move on. This is my fun part of my show. I enjoy this part the most. I enjoy my whole show, but this is my fun part. Give me a little time to do little stuff like this. But okay, we got that. Now let's go back here. Take this off, take the sector rotation tool off, put the light there, and then I go ahead and talk to you about this time we follow the money. Now let's look at the S&P 500 biggest gainer and loser of the day. But first, we're going to look at the loser so we can end the night on a high note. All right, so let's go back to the charts. Bam, bam, bam. And we need to change this. We need to go to Pro Market Closed. Bam. Go up here to the Market Watch tab, and we need to change this to descending order. And there we go, guys. Our biggest loser is AppLovin Corporation, ticker APP. They lost 12.65% today. Previous close, $506.98. They closed today at $442.85. All right. So let's do a hypothetical. And our hypothetical today, how much money we gonna use? Let's use $9,800. So if somebody invested, let's use $9,800. $9,800, and they lost 12.65%. So we times 12.65. Negate it, turn it to a percentage. they would have lost $1,239.70 of their $9,200. And we can add the $9,200 back to it, and it will take that loss away. So they'd be left with $7,960.30. Bam. All right, we can move on. Now, let's select AppLovin. Oh, no, we're not about to buy nothing. Select AppLovin, and now we can go over here to the Analyze tab. So now when we go over here, we can see that AppLovin is in the information technology sector. What a coincidence. What was the biggest losing sector for today? Information technology. Wow. All right, so now what we're about to do, we're about to look at that sector. We're about to look at the industry that AppLovin is inside of and the sub industry. Let's do a little research, guys. So let's go up here to the Market Watch tab, and then we're going to go to the Visualize sub tab. Now, let me show you something else, because I haven't done this with you guys before. If we mouse over Market Watch, we can just go to the list as well, and we'll go straight to it if we did it that way. Instead of clicking twice, we can do it that way. So we're gonna go back to the S&P 500 watch list on the heat map. That's where we are. So we can take me off the screen and let's talk about it. So we're gonna look for the information technology sector, guys. It's already highlighted. So we need to go here, bam. So now we're looking for app, APP, and we need to find out what industry they're inside of, okay? And if their market is right here, if their market cap is small, they're going to be harder to find, but they're in the software industry, okay? Software industry. So we go in there, and now we have two sub industries. We have application software and we have system software. They are in the application software sub industry. When we go in here, guys, notice how there's a lot of green. There's 4 reds. 1, 2, 3, 4 in this sub industry. So from what I'm seeing, this actual sub industry performed well today. And this is what's interesting about looking at the actual sectors and the industries inside those sectors and the sub industries inside those sectors. So app happened to be the biggest loser inside this sub industry. So they lost 12.65%. This one lost 1.63%. This one lost 2.62%. And this one lost 1%. So none of the other ones lost more than 3%. And this one lost 12 by itself. Well, 12.65 by itself. Okay. So let's back out of this. And I want to show you what's interesting about information technology. So we're in the information technology sector as a whole, but this entire industry right here inside of that sector, let's go back out. It's the semiconductors industry. That whole industry is red, guys. The entire thing. And then you got 2 sub industries inside of it. You got semiconductor materials. It's going to be this section over here. And here's the other sub industry, semiconductors. Okay. And these have very large market caps. So since their market caps are so large, that's what's weighing down the XLK. You have Apple, you have Microsoft. Those are big market caps that could try to offset those losses. But this whole entire industry has pulled down, and you have significant red over here because it's only 2 companies inside this industry right here that's green. And this industry is technology, hardware, storage, and peripherals. Apple takes up a lot of that market space, a lot of that market cap space inside this industry. And then you got HPQ was green. That was green today. But all of these are red. Okay. That's a lot to fight off to try to keep that index up. So that's why the XLK, let me go to the charts real quick and then we'll go back to what we're supposed to be looking at. Put me back on the screen. XLK. And then look at the daily candles. It's red, and it's coming down to an area of support that we had on the chart as well at $180.22. So I know we deviated a little bit, but we're going to get back on track. I just wanted to show you the power of looking inside those actual sectors, industries, and sub-industries and knowing what ETF can isolate that industry so you can see how that industry is performing as a whole. That's why we're looking at the S&P 500 sector performance. Okay, that's why we're doing that. Now let's go back to the Analyze tab, and we can take me off the screen because we're going to talk about this before we go back to apps. Well, before we go to apps website. So AppLovin Corporation, here's their website. Links to their website is also down in the description. Let's read a little bit about the company, and then we're going to go to the website. AppLovin Corporation provides end-to-end artificial intelligence-powered advertising solutions for businesses in the United States and internationally. Got it. All right, so we're going to put me back on the screen. We're going to go to their website. Bam. And we're going to take this off. We got it. All right, now, top of the screen, we got advertise. So all of this is trying to get us to spend some money with them. Oh, there it is. Company. See? I like this. They made it easy right there. We got about, we got careers, and we got investors. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please hit that like button. It helps out so much. And consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. So we're going to go to those locations after we browse over this homepage. All right. Grow your business. Over 1 billion people play mobile games every day. AppLovin lets you advertise to them. Launch a campaign. Let's get you in front of 1 billion customers. Okay. The whole screen every time. Every ad runs full screen during natural pauses in the game experience or are chosen in exchange for rewards afterwards. Man, those are annoying. They're so annoying if you're playing those apps on them games. Oh, wait a minute. Got to take me off the screen because this animation is all over the place. So transforming businesses for over a decade and all this stuff popped up. Okay. Pop, pop, pop. Now it's scrolling to the side. It's moving, moving, moving. All right. So that's the home page, guys. And then down here at the bottom, they have some lovely convenience links right here. Let's go to about, and then we can learn some more about the company. Hopefully we grow businesses profitably. AppLovin empowers people to build businesses bigger than they ever imagined. Great products win. Remember, links to these websites are down in the description. So yeah, if you want to look through this a little deeper, because I'm moving a little fast. AppLovin was founded in 2012 by a handful of performance marketers with an $8 domain. What we've accomplished. So they have some stats here. I'm trying to click this arrow, but stuff popping up. Yeah, IPO'd at 28 billion, 1 billion EBITDA, EBITDA. And invite only launch, helping any business grow. Got it. Want to join the team. So blog investors leadership. All right. So we went through that. Now let's go to careers. We want to find out what's them benefits like. What's them benefits? Grow without limits. We help businesses around the world reach more people and achieve growth they never thought possible. The same goes for the people who work here. See open roles, our culture. We value people who care deeply about what they put into the world. People who push ideas forward, solve problems collaboratively, and raise the standard for their team. Got it. Product first, always pursue excellence. Challenge the status quo, speed wins, never stop hustling, lead by doing. Benefits. They get a round of applause for making this easy to find. Benefits. The people behind the work matter here. Our comprehensive benefits support your health, well-being, and future so you can focus on doing your best work. Got it. Nice little list right here. I'm not going to read it all. Knock yourself out. You can do that on your own. Engineering internship. Get in there. Do things. Learn from the masters. Okay, and here's the CEO and co-founder of AppLovin. All open positions. We're not gonna scroll through all that. All right, so here we go. Now we're gonna go to investors, and it looks like that's another website, which it is. So blow that up. Let's make sure we zoomed in. So you know how we do. You're gonna scroll over this page, and then we're gonna look for the link that says stock information, even though they're showing some of it here. Press release. So here's some of the financial information that we talk about, we find on the website. We don't click on it or open it. We just look for where they're located so you can look at it on your own time. All right. So up here at the top, stock information. Here's the stock quote. Here's the chart. I like the fact it popped right up. And here are some other tools that they have available for investors. Got it. So let's talk about what I found in my research about the company. So let's go here. Bam. All right. So AppLovin Corporation, ticker APP, when it comes to their goods and services, they manage mobile application monetization across the gaming, digital advertising, and e-commerce markets, offering solutions such as, number one, complete app growth options, including app discovery and Max for mobile software developers. Number two, scalable machine learning products, including Axon, Spark Labs, and Array for digital advertising agencies. And number three, optimized programmatic software systems tailored for user acquisition, ad inventory auctioning, and campaign optimization. Looking at their S&P 500 clients and partners, notable names include Take-Two Interactive Software Incorporated, ticker TTWO, Meta Platforms Incorporated, ticker META, and Alphabet Incorporated, ticker GOOGL. Got it. Now let's go to them charts. Here we go. Here we go. Bam, bam, bam. All right. Now we've looked at AppLovin before, so these technicals are going to be pretty easy to do. So here's their 52-week low of $342.11. Here's their 52-week high of $745.61. We are looking at a 1-year daily chart. I do not remember what we were doing right here with that line. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove it. So let's remove that line. And this line, we don't need that either. So let's remove that drawing and we can focus on where the price action is now. We've already done these levels, but I'm still going to show you what's going on the 10-year weekly chart. Now, remember what I pointed out to you guys earlier. The first thing that I check is the years that's available on the chart. All right. So you can see that it's set to a 10-year weekly chart right here. 10-year weekly. That does not mean we're going to get the whole 10 weeks because it has to be available. So that's why the first thing I look at is the years. So right here, we can see that it goes back as far as 2021. Okay. So that's going to be counting this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, not 10. So you got a 6-year low of $9.14 and a 6-year high of $745.61. And let's go back to the 1-year daily chart real quick. See that 52-week low? 52-week high. I know the boxes are still there, guys. I'll hide them. The 52-week high is the same as the 6-year high. So that's within the time frame that we're looking at in the most recent year as well. And notice we have all of our levels done already because this is where the price action is anyway, right here. So it's already finding support on that $433.59. And then we have this that we will look at, but this will take a while to get down there. And that's the 200-week simple moving average at $224.21. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to the 1-year daily chart. Bada boom, bada bing. And we're going to zoom in. So let's zoom in. Let's use this mouse. Let's zoom in. There we go. Make that a little bit bigger. And pan. There we go. All right. So I like to have at least 2 or 3 levels of support and 2 or 3 levels of resistance. So we still have met that requirement, what we have on the chart right now. So we have support that was tested today. And you know what's fascinating, guys? The more you look at these technicals and the more often you get into it, you'll see that sometimes they're going to hit those levels. And this happened today. If you go back and look at our live stream, we had that level there already. It looks like it almost came to the penny of that level that we already had drew on the chart. So what was the actual low on that candle? So the low on that candle was $433.71. That's why it looks so close. Crazy. Okay. So it found that as support today. And now it's in this range between $487.59 and $433.59. If this does not hold, my next area of support that I'm seeing is 364.13. And I know that's quite a ways. So if I was going to put anything in there before then, it would possibly be the midpoint of this large candle right here. And it seems like that'll catch a few of these candles and that gap that happened back here, which you can't see. So I'm gonna show you what I mean. If I was to put another price, we just be putting lines and lines and lines, guys. But think of it this way. You see this gap that was closed? There was a gap right here between this day. So that's March 25th and March 26th. That would have been a gap. The low of that gap would have been the high of this candle right here. So this dip, this wick or shadow on this candle right here would have fell within that range. So I'm gonna show you what I mean. We got time. So if I use this rectangle tool and I draw out that gap that was here, we're gonna edit properties, turn it yellow, identify was a gap. We're not gonna leave it, but I just want you to see what I mean. So we take that out to December 1st. That's gonna be more than enough. You see how that wick came into that gap? So that gap is gonna act in the way I look at my technicals as a support zone. So that's the bottom of the zone. So that next area of support, since it's so close to the top of that zone, I wouldn't put the other one there. I would leave it, but I would look for support at $413.34. So I'm walking you through why. Because of the gap that I saw back here, look at some of these wicks and the price action based on that price level. You see how this candle opened on it, this wick touched it, this closed above it, this found resistance on that price level. Then you have another gap back here, but I'm just focused on this one. We're not gonna do too much. So it's within this range right here of support. That's where I'm getting that from. And then we see that this candle was able to dip down in there and recover and come all the way up here. Okay. So that's why I would see that as a level of support before you get down here to the $364.13. And then you have that psychological level right there because you got a big round number that you got to go through before you get down there, which is going to be $400. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing in my technicals, how I'm seeing it. That's how I'm seeing it. Okay. So let's take all of that off and let's get the stock quote for AppLovin. And we see the 200, I didn't mention that. The 200-day simple moving average is at $536.35. And the 9-day simple moving average is at $519.01. And it looks like it might have had a small gap down today too. Let me zoom in. Zoom in. Is that a gap? Yeah, guys, that's a small gap right there. It's very small, but it's a gap. Bam, 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 bam. Yellow. I don't know why that Bruce Willis Die Hard movie just popped into my head with the black limo driver. That's a funny movie, man. When he fell out the building and fell on the car, Carl Winslow lost his mind, didn't he? I know that was random. So anyway, here we go. That's a gap, guys. And I'm just going to put the price level of the bottom of the gap for right now, based on the fact that the price level is below that anyway. So that's going to be the first part. And then with it being so small, it's going to bunch up those numbers like crazy. But notice how that gap is a round number. It's real close to 500 because it's $500.43. That's the price level. And when that wasn't able to hold, it came back, it tested that $500. Well, it came up to $500.43. It wasn't able to hold and close below it. But that's a psychological round number. That's another example of how that works. Okay. So let's adjust this chart a little bit. Adjust this chart a little bit. And open up the settings. Floating data box activated. Now, AppLovin opened today at $497. They had a high of $500.43. They had a low of $433.71. And they closed today at $442.85, which is a trading range of $66.72. Now, when we look at the trading volume, guys, they traded 10.3 million shares today. Is that a big deal? We don't know, but we about to find out. So cut off the floating data box, and we're going to go right over here after we take me off the screen and look at the fact that the average trading volume for AppLovin is actually 5.6 million shares in a daily trading session. So today coming in at 10.3 million is almost double the average. So that's definitely significant for this right here. That's above average volume, almost double the average. And then this red candle right here came in below average. It came in at 3.4 million shares traded, which was below the 5.6. So we see an increase in volume from below to above, a significant increase to this downside gap. I'm curious to know if they had news or something that broke out about the company, some type of catalyst. So let me share with you how I use news. I use news as trying to find out why something happened. I don't try to use news personally. I don't use news to forecast. I use news to explain why something played out. Like, what's the narrative? What's the story behind this? If it's nothing that jumps out on me on the chart that explain to me what happened, like I don't see earnings. So I know that earnings usually is associated with higher than normal volume. I don't see any earnings. So there must be some type of news catalyst behind this increased volume that came in above average. And then we look at how much higher is it compared to the average volume. Well, what helps with that is the volume rate percentile. Well, the volume percentile. It's not volume rate percentile. It's volume percentile. Right here, it's 95.2%, which means out of the most recent 252 trading days, which is the time frame that I'm looking over, today's volume was higher than 95.2% of those daily candle volumes. Specifically, or to be specific, it's only 12 of those days had higher volume than today. That's significant for this stock. So if that's significant, what I would do, I would go over here, expand this window, collapse that, and come right down here where it says app. So here's the news. Take me off the screen. Review and preview, doldrums, you have to read for some. AppLovin stock is trending. A key level just came into play. So it's saying 713. So it's after 12. So definitely this was yesterday. Okay, here it is. Why is AppLovin one of the worst S&P 500 stocks today? So they have some type of explanation in there about it. So we bring that over and then I would look at that. So it's offered by Barron's.com. And let's see how long this article is. We're not going to read it all. I'm just showing you where I would look and what I would do. Okay. Browsing over it. Bank of America's report, only bad news is thesis. So it's mentioning something about Bank of America down at the bottom. Okay. So that's what I would do. Here it is. What set AppLovin apart from the other software names was a Bank of America report based on a third-party data that indicated AppLovin's e-commerce advertising footprint grew more slowing in June, adding about 750 new pixels versus about 950 pixels in May. So then I would do research to find out what the heck are pixels. I don't know what they mean in this context. So this takes work, guys. That's all I'm sharing with you. This takes work. This is how I would do it. That's how I would do it. All right. So that's that. We did the volume. We did the technicals. We talked about what drove that, the catalyst, blah, blah, blah. Now we can go ahead and go to the next company. We can go to the next company. So we can take that off, take that there, and then we go here. So let's go up to the Market Watch tab. And we're going to go, let's put some of this stuff back. We got a mess over here. So I'm left clicking and then I'll just go here to where it says minus S&P 500. And that takes me back to the main page just to share with you how I do that. Then we go up over here to the quotes tab And now we back to the watch list. Change this to ascending order. And here we go. So the biggest gainer for today is FactSet Research Systems Incorporated, ticker FDS. Now, we've never looked at this company before, which is a great thing and a bad thing. The great thing is we got something new. Bad thing is we ain't got no technicals, so we start from scratch. All right, but let's talk about it. I got to stop clicking on bid and ask. So here we go. FactSet. They gained 6.47% today. Previous close was $247.11. They closed today at $263.11. Now, let's do a hypothetical, pull up the calculator. Here we go. Clear this out. We were using $9,200. Yes, we were. So 92, we're going to use the keys. $9,200 times 6.47%. So we need to turn it into a decimal with that. So they would have gained $595.24 on their $9,200 investment. So we can add the principal back to it, the $9,200. Total investment would have grown to $9,795.24. Got it. Okay, move on. Minimize this, take this off the screen. We go up here to the Analyze tab, and we can see that ticker FDS is in the financials. They're in the financial sector. So we're going to see how that sector performed, that industry that it's inside of performed, and how that sub-industry performed. We're looking for clues, guys. Why is this leading? What's happening over in financials? Let's go find out. So we go over to the Market Watch tab, Visualize Sub tab. Now we're looking for financials. Let's take me off the screen. Let's highlight it. Let's go. So financials, bam, here's that sector right here. And now we're looking for FDS. Now, if they have a small market cap, the space that they take up is going to be very hard to see. So I'm going to browse and do my best. I see it. It's very small. It's down here in the corner over here. So that is in the capital markets industry. Bam, we go up now, and now we can see that it has 3 sub-industries. You can tell by these labels. 1, 2, 3. And here is FDS down here in the corner. And they are in this industry, sub-industry. They're in that sub-industry. Okay, I know that was a lot of drawing, but I wanted to break that down. So now when I highlight it to check it, we'll be over there. Let's see how this does. Click this. No. What did we do? Go back to financials. Here we go. FDS over here. So that's where we're going. That's the sub industry. And we can see only one of those in the sub industry did bad today, and that was Coin, and they lost 1.07%. So this sub industry looked like it's doing pretty good, but this is just one day now. We understand it's just one day, but it's still seeing that it was something that was happening within that sub industry and not just that company itself. That's what we're looking at. So let's go back out to capital markets. So now when we look at this capital market industry, we see more red than we see green. Okay. And then we go back to the whole sector and we see more green than we see red, I think. It's some dark over here in this industry, which is the banks, which are the banks. All right. But let's keep it moving. Let's go back over here to the Analyze tab. And we can see FactSet Research Systems Incorporated. Here's their website. Before we visit their websites, read a little bit about the company. FactSet Research Systems Incorporated, together with its subsidiaries, operates as a financial digital platform and enterprise solutions provider for the investment community. Awesome. Now let's go to their website. Put me back on the screen. Take this down. And I believe we're good. Let's try to make this fast so we can hurry up and get to the charts, guys. Remember, the links are down here for you to take your time, but I need to get through this, okay? So let's go. You're interested in our company. So that might be a link we're going to go to. Let's browse over this and see what they got at the bottom. FactSet Intelligence is here, AI that's fluent in finance. What we offer. Choose your workflow and discover how our solutions can give you a competitive advantage. Interactive solution tours, asset managers, I Am Workstation tour, view all tours. So you can browse through that. Who we serve, got it. Buy side firms. I need to do some more research on that. That's a mental note for me. Don't worry about that. Buy side firms, corporations, data and platform providers, investment banks, private capital managers, wealth management firms. So those are the different customers and clients that they have. And then those businesses provide, those people and businesses provide services to other people. All right. Got it. So what sets us apart? FactSet delivers trusted, comprehensive data and next generation workflows that integrate seamlessly and scale with how investment professionals work. So you got some stats here. All right. FactSet has been an invaluable resource in helping me drive productivity within the team and in reducing the time it takes from idea generation to portfolio execution. Our clients, over 9,100 firms around the globe trust FactSet to help them work faster and smarter. We learning a lot. Hey, this company got a lot of money being spent with them. They telling you about the companies that work with them and what they offer. They factor in some things. They targeting some real clientele here. FactSet Insights. Connect with us for a free trial. Okay, here we go. Here's some data down here at the bottom. So here it is. We see careers, investor relations, and then the company link is up here where it says our company. So we know where we're going to click. So let's go to our company. Here it is, about us. They have our values here. I love how simple this is. Let's go to our company and see what we can find. About FactSet. They already told us about these stats. So here's our culture. As big as we grow, as far as we reach, and as successful as we become, we stay connected to our clients and to each other. Our people, our workforce mirrors our diverse global communities and clients. Careers, exceptional talent fuels every aspect of our business, from the constantly evolving financial software we develop to the unrivaled client service at our core. Our insights. Join our community of more than 700,000 blog readers. FactSet company history, founding. So I'm not going to read all that. What we stand for. They have a video there. What our clients are saying. We're not going to read that. Talk to us. Got it. Now, let's go to careers. We're looking for the benefits, guys. Let's see if we can find it quickly. Think creatively, contribute actively, gain autonomy, and grow within an industry-leading company. Okay, here's a video. Our clients. Here are their values. Future-focused, always inclusive, client-centric, tenacious, solution-driven. Our teams, your career, our benefits. Got it. Around the globe, FactSet fosters a hardworking, flexible, and fun workplace environment. Generous PTO, paid time off, comprehensive coverage, wellness discounts, meal benefits. We gonna feed you. Social activities and education benefits. When clients come first, awards follow. So those are some awards and recognition. Want to work at FactSet. All right, we got through it, guys. Here's investor relations down here at the bottom. We're moving a little bit faster. Thank gosh. Here's our mission. Trusted data for confident decisions. Okay. Blow this up because this is definitely smaller, guys. So let's read this now. It'd be easier for you to see. FactSet, New York Stock Exchange, ticker symbol, delivers trusted, connected financial data, advanced analytics, and AI-powered solutions embedded in the critical workflows investment professionals rely on every day. Every day. Okay, news, events, annual reports, feature resources. We're down at the bottom. Scroll to the top. There's the stock information, stock quote and chart, and then other tools that they offer. It looks like they pay a dividend as well. Here we go. So here is the stock quote information. Here's the chart. Oh, they have, those are those doggone, those are bars. Bar chart. I hope I'm saying that right. I think those are the bars. They'll have a name up here. Let's get it right. Right here in the settings. Viewful. No. Do they let you change that? Or are they forcing you to use those bars? Yeah, sometimes the charts allow you to make adjustments. Yeah, those are line and bar charts. I think that's what it's called, line and bar. Instead of candles, they use a line and bar. That look terrible. Okay, anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about what I got for you in my research. We went there. We got them up on the screen. Yeah, let's go here. Ticker research. Got it. FactSet Research Systems Incorporated, ticker symbol FDS. When it comes to their goods and services, they manage financial data, analytics across the Americas, Europe, and Asia Pacific markets, offering solutions such as complete financial workstation options, including market data analytics and research management for investment professionals. That was number one. Number two, scalable portfolio analytics products, including performance measurement, risk management, attribution, and compliance monitoring for asset managers. And number three, optimized data feed systems tailored for algorithmic trading, cloud infrastructure, and enterprise reporting. Looking at their S&P 500 clients and partners, notable names include Amazon.com Incorporated, ticker AMZN, Salesforce Incorporated, ticker CRM, and Snowflake Incorporated, ticker SNO. Guys, these are supposed to be S&P 500 companies. So let's go to the charts and check to see if Snowflake is in the S&P 500 list. So we go here, we go here, we go there. Got it. So it was ticker SNO. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the Market Watch tab, go to Quotes tab, put it in alphabetical order, and we're going to go down to the S. S, 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 S. Oh, we could have did that a different way. That would have been easier. That way I don't even have to read it. So if I go over here and I type in SNOW, S-N-O-W, it's going to highlight it over in the Market Watch list when we roll down to the S's if it's listed. Yeah, it didn't highlight. Let me try something. So if I go over here and I put in SW, and then go back, you see how it's highlighted? So that's not in the S&P 500 index. That's a mistake. So just Amazon and CRM. But when we looked, it looked like one of their clients was also ExxonMobil. So Exxon is in the S&P 500 index, and that ticker is going to be XOM. And then when we go to the Market Watch tab, it'll be highlighted when we get down to the X's. There you go. So there's your third one. That boy be knowing. All right, let's go back to the charts. Oh, it's paying off. Got to do your research, guys. Got to do your research. All right, we go to the settings, and then we're going to change this to 30. Oh, it is on 30. All right, so we are looking at a 1 year daily chart. Here we go. And this is not the company we're looking at because I still have ExxonMobil up here. FDS, guys. Here we go. Whoa. It then came down, didn't it? So we are looking at a 1 year daily chart. I already warned you we don't have any technicals for this company because the first time it came up as the biggest gainer or biggest loser. They have a 52-week high of 400. Ooh, slow down. They have a 52-week high of $453.41. They have a 52-week low of $185. And we need to look at what's going on the higher time frames before we start diving into this. So let's go to the 10-year weekly chart. So that is the time frame we're looking at. The first thing we're looking for is the year. So it's really bunched up over here because they pay dividends and it takes up a lot of space over here when they're doing all of that. So let me drag it over here so you can see we got 2016. It's hidden under here, guys. It's over there. So we got the 2016. So we got the 10 years. Here is their 10-year low. Come on, wait a minute. Here is their 10-year low, which is $150.95. Here's their 10-year high, which is $499.87. And this looked like that took place at the end of 2024. And boy, oh boy, was that a decline. Nasty. Whew. Found some support around here, and it looked like it's been recovering a little bit, and now we up here. So those my quick eyeball, on it. But now we need to get us some technicals, guys. And then we got all of this coming back here. Oh, this is going to be a headache. But we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to start from over here. So let's start with our price levels. Here's our price level. So the low on this candle, what I'm doing, I'm using the crosshairs to eyeball it. Okay. This looks like that is a level that it's responding to. I would zoom in, but we're a little pressed for time. So I'm gonna move a little bit faster, but I'm using the crosshairs to eyeball the other points that's touching these price levels. Okay. Now over here, guys, I can't cheat you. I can't cheat you. We have to use a zone. I'm seeing this as a zone. So if I'm seeing this as a zone, we're going to eyeball this with the price level first. Okay. Yep. That's the zone I'm seeing. So here we go. This high, this low, extend this over to 2026, December 1st. December 1st. Okay. Let me extend this over to the left a little so you can see why I did what I did a little bit. Go there, there. Okay. Yeah, that's enough. So it catches these, it catches more candles when I made it a zone versus a price level. You get more open highs, closes and lows with using a zone here. Even this weak candle right here, the low touch right on the top of that zone, which is what we used. And then you have these two wicks that dip into that zone. Now, when we zoom out, we can see how that zone is responding to the current price action over here now. Now, these are weekly candles, but we can see how over here it's responding to that zone that we use historical data to point out. Now we need to get those price levels on this chart. So there's two ways we can do that. The hard way and the easy way. I want to do it the easy way. So let's zoom in and just use the price level on the candles that we use to create the zone. So we use the low of this candle, boom. So that's done. And then we use the high of this candle, boom, that's done. So those are our price levels of support and resistance zones based on using the weekly chart. We're going to zoom out. And now we're looking for areas of resistance. Now, this stock then took such a crazy decline that the 200-day simple moving average is all 200-week. I'm sorry. The 200-week simple moving average is all the way up here. Remember, we're looking at a 10-year weekly chart. The W is going to be the bars or the candles. And with that being yellow, you cannot see that. So let's do this a different way. Undo, undo, and then come from the top. That W. The bars are going to be weekly bars. The time frame is going to be 10 years. That's what we'll be looking at there. So zoom in, and this simple moving average, that's going to be a 9-week simple moving average. The price level that it's at right now is $263. And no, it's not. That is not it. That's the current price. It matches this up here. That's the closing price right now on the week, but we still have some more week to play out. That's just Monday. So actually, the simple moving average, they're both green, but it's different greens. It's this neon green. That's going to be the 9-week simple moving average. And then if we spread this out, what did we just do? Oh, no, that's nothing. So we zoom this out and we can remove this. We don't need these anymore. We can see those price levels better by doing that we put on the chart, by spreading this bar out, those prices. Okay. So we can see that better. Now, as far as resistance, guys, I'm seeing all of this, all of that look like a resistance zone to me, because you have so many candles like stalling out in this range up in here, up in here, up in here. So this low on that one, and then catching, let's say this high right here. Make sure this candle isn't higher. So the high on this candle is 295.36. The high on that candle is 295.43. Right. So that's the right one. Edit properties, extend this over to December 1st. December 1st, bam, and then extend this over to the left a little bit. Go back, boom, 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 boom. First, okay. So you can see what we're looking at. Now, price levels, snap, snap. We didn't get the first snap. So I'm seeing that as a resistance zone. And guys, I believe this is good enough. I believe this is good enough. You might find some resistance here as well, because we see where that wick peaked at, and then you have some candles over here responding to that price level. So I'm seeing resistance at 272.40, 288.71, and 295.43. But this is going to be like a zone, and we already identified that. Here's the candle for today. This is the weekly candle. We still looking at the week. So we got this. Let's go over to the lower time frame. So here's the 1 year daily chart. And I hope I said those right. I hope I said those right. So let me make sure I clarify this. This is for the 9-week simple moving average. If earlier I said 9-day, we're looking at weekly bars. I hope I didn't mess up. I'm just double checking to make sure. So now when we go to the lower time frame, now it's going to be a 9-day. You can see that right over here. You got 1 day. So all the candles are days now, but now we're looking at a 1 year time frame. Okay. And we did a lot of technicals over there on the weekly chart, and it's breaking out above the 200-day simple moving average and the 9-day simple moving average. So it's looking good. It's looking good. It's making higher highs and higher lows. But what I was looking at was this. Let me do the trend line. Come on, man, having these multiple mice, because one of my mouse do something, the other would do something. So trend line, trend line, trend line. That's what I'm seeing, guys. Higher highs, higher lows. It's coming down and it's bouncing off of it. So you're getting higher lows and you're getting higher highs. If we did the same thing up here, you're getting higher highs. There's another tool we could use to make this more accurate. So let me show you what we could use. This moving slow. So we can remove that drawing. There's another tool. Regression line, regression channel. I haven't used this in a while. Which one works better? Let's see if we did this. Nah, that one's a headache. This one's going to be a headache. Let's use another one. Go here. We use a channel. The channel is easier because we can do it like, we can make it how we want to make it. And then once we find our points, when we put the points there, it duplicates it. It keeps it level. And we're just trying to align it with the candles we see at the top. And now when I click it, you can see what we're looking at. It's in a channel that's sloping up now. And if that's hard to see, let's edit the properties and make it easier for you to see. Let's make the lines thicker. Or we could keep it dotted and just make it thicker. There you go. I know we got a lot of white on the chart, but hopefully, let's make it yellow. Maybe yellow will make it where it's easier for you to see. I want to make sure you see this. Maybe. But as you can see, you can change it to whatever you want. We can make the width thicker. There you go. Yeah, that pops to me. Okay, so that's our channel. We see that it's making higher highs and it's making higher lows. So it's definitely trending up. And then we can see that it's breaking out of the channel again when it came up here. And also you got the 9-day simple moving average crossing over the 200-day simple moving average. Now, when I use this, we can see both of those moving averages when I open up the floating data box and mouse over this candle. So it's going to tell us where the 200-day simple moving average is and where the 9-day simple moving average is. So it actually has not crossed over it yet. It's approaching it because the 200-day simple moving average is at $249.42. The 9-day simple moving average is at $248.46. So it's approaching it. but the price action is actually above both of those levels of resistance that I would see as resistance. And we have a lot of levels on here. So it would have to get below the 200-day simple moving average, the 9-day simple moving average, this $200.50 level of support. And that's also near a psychological level of $200.50. And the support I would see is right here at this channel where you have these two candles as a low. Then it did a pullback here. Then you had a gap. It's a lot of stuff going on over there. So I'll keep it simple. Right there, $208.01. And then it would be the next level down with this pullback. You see as those higher lows. Each one of those will be a stare down of a different level of support, if that was to happen. Okay, so let's remove this channel. Just wanted you to see what I was seeing because that looked way too busy. And then we can go ahead and get this stock quote for FBS and call it a night. We need to talk about the volume though. So let's go ahead and get this volume going. Let's talk about the volume. So we mouse over today's candle. So FactSet Research Systems Incorporated opened today at $252.81. They had a high of $263.34. They had a low of $250.26, and they closed today at $263.11, which was a trading range of $13.08. Now, when we go down here and look at the volume, guys, they didn't even trade over 1 million shares today, which is interesting because we need to see what the average trading volume is for this stock. They traded 929,000 shares today, and just rounding out. All right, so let's cut the floating data box off. Let's take me off the screen. Let's talk about the average trading volume for this company. Yeah, guys, their average trading volume is 844,000 in a daily trading session. This is one of those companies that trade below 1 million shares, lower than 1 million shares in regular trading sessions. So 920,000 is actually above average for this company. And then we can see, oh my gosh, yesterday they traded 530,000 shares on this. Well, not yesterday, Friday. This candle right here, that daily candle right there. Let's zoom in a little bit because we got enough space. Zoom in, make that a little bigger. Yeah. So this is Friday's candle, and that was like roughly a 500,000 shares on that candle being traded, and that was below average. So we do see an increase in volume from Friday to Monday, and then today's volume was also above average. So how above average is it? I'm glad you asked. Let's take this off the screen, put me back on the screen. So now we look at the volume percentile. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, today's volume, this green candle right here, was higher than 67.9% of those days. And to be exact, only 81 of the most recent 252 trading days were above today's volume or had a volume that was higher than today's volume. Days above right here, days below 171. Bam, we got it, guys. We done. We can go ahead and move on and close up this show. So let's go here, 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 and here. Hey, listen, I appreciate you. I'm trying to tell you. You already know. I hope that you learned something. I ain't even put my hands on. I must be tired. I got to get some stuff done. You already know. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. This Sunday, July 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we're reviewing the S&P 500's biggest gainers and losers this week, tracking market sentiment and volatility, analyzing the S&P 500 sector performance, and building our watch list for the upcoming week. Make sure you keep tuning in weekdays following a market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Take care and God bless.